For my comprehension strategy, I chose story maps. So I'm going to start by showing how I would teach for a kindergarten class based on the book I chose and the theme. So our book is Balloons Over Broadway. Our theme for this whole activity is Thanksgiving. So this is a super fun book to read with kindergartners through probably third grade to get them ready and moving and learning about Thanksgiving and how it's more than just food. So I created a story map that has characters, setting, and then a beginning, middle, and end. So I'd have this on a sheet of paper, and I'd have them help me fill it out and then copy it or create their own ideas. So for our main character in Balloons Over Broadway is Tony Sarge. He's the man who created the balloons and the puppets. Our setting is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, or they could put New York City. And then for our beginning, I put Tony made puppets for the parade. For our middle, people were scared of the big animals that were in the parade. So, in the end, Tony created the giant balloons to be just like puppets in the air and reverse them. And I'd help them get through their story map so that they could understand the main events. They know who the characters are, they know the setting, and they know what happened first, what happened next, and how the story wrapped up. For third grade, I wanted to change the format and make it not necessarily more like super complex, but a little bit different than beginning, middle, and end because they're beyond that. So I changed it to big circles. And we have our main characters still, but I'm expecting more than one or two. So I have Jack, Annie, Pilgrims, Indians. Let me go back. Our book that we're reading is The Magic Treehouse, Thanksgiving on Thursday, the chapter book. So they're going to have way more information that they can fill out with this, and they'll be able to cover all four bases. So our characters, I only listed two main characters, Jack and Annie, and then two generals so that they can expand on it. So I added Pilgrims and Indians. There are way more characters in that book, and they'll be able to name them themselves. I, again, did setting. Setting is one of the more important aspects of a story map, so you need to make sure it's on each one of them. So for this setting, we're back in 1621 for the very first Thanksgiving. And in comparison to the kindergarten one where I had beginning, middle, end, this one I have problem and solution. So they had to look for the main issue, the overall problem, which is Jack and Annie are ruining the day. They were asked to cook the turkey and they burnt the turkey. And so they believe they are ruining the day and they don't know what they're going to do to fix it. So they think that they're going to ruin Thanksgiving for the future or their present life. And then there's a solution bubble for them to fill out. And so for my answer for the solution that they will not see until we've all finished is the Pilgrims and Indians show Jack and Annie the right way. They show them how to cook the dinners. They show them how to prepare the food, just as the Indians showed the Pilgrims. For sixth grade, I want to make it much more complex. This is the story map format that I grew up using, that I remember more than both of those, and it's the mountain. So we have our theme. The book I chose is 1621, A New Look at Thanksgiving. And so we'll have our theme on the bottom, theme of the book. That should be relatively easy for them. Setting again, 1621 Plymouth, back to the first Thanksgiving. Main characters up here. And mine is, I have the theme and setting down here and the main characters up here just for space. But at the bottom of the mountain, it'll show you your problem and then what led to those problems with 3 rising action events and a climax at the top. And then after you figure the climax, it comes down into following action events and the solution, how they solve the problem. So I would have my students each have one of these on a sheet of paper, and they will be expected to fill out each category on their own. As a class, we might go over the main characters, the theme, the setting together, and probably an overall general problem and solution together, but they should be able to fill out each of these requirements themselves.